dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces life, the Pisces life. Two fish living in a dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces life, 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 the Pisces life.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now him, thee, they, there, everybody. Did we get it? Did we hit it?
I think so.
All right. Hey, y'all. This is the 153rd episode of The Pisces Life. I am just Letitia, a very tired Letitia tonight. And on the other microphone,
It's just I, an equally tired Kyla, but we are here for you because
yes,
we understand that when you are going through a pandemic, consistency is key. Folks want this show, sis.
Listen.
Folks want this show.
And we gonna give it to them.
And we have to give it to them. So we about to get it energized up in here. We about to align our spirits and our mind. We about to get these jokes off because I have things to say, a couple of keys, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Yes, it is. Welcome to Black History Month.
It is Black History Month.
February.
Yes. Do you think we're going to see kind of a resurgence of good Black History Month cultural celebrations? Because it had felt like, and I don't know if it's our area here in Chicago or if it was in your area, it seemed like they were backing away from Black History Month. I rarely saw Black History Month programs, rarely saw Black History Month teachers with their boards, and you know, it seemed to kind of fade into the background. Now I understand that, you know, the news cycle is quick on the Twitter and on the socials. So it might have been some things and other things kind of, you know, took it over. But I'm hoping that we see just good representation of all things Black along the African diaspora, celebrating our culture and the history and contributions to this country.
Yes.
In the United States and other places.
Absolutely. I agree and love it. You know, so much has been going on. We don't even have time to give you all the news. We just got to give you the highlights. Of course, wear your masks. We are up to 4 different variants. We have a variant from South Africa now. That's the latest. We have a variant from Brazil.
Yes.
We have a variant from over there in England. Yes. Then we have a variant that came over from one other place, I forget.
We have a variant that's here from the people who were already not wearing masks and not washing their hands. So I believe that there's several strains that just have been unnamed at this point.
Right.
Because people just refuse to do right.
The strains are going to have strains. I mean, the variants are going to have variants if y'all don't cut it out. This is a hot mess. Enough about that, because y'all not going to do right, and that's fine. And how I know y'all not going to do right? Because y'all on y'all social media. Apparently, all of Bourbon Street was packed the other night. And I mean, wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, face to unmasked face packed. I couldn't believe it.
I was concerned, sis. I was like, is it Mardi Gras, or was this just like a regular evening out? And why were all of those people? I just don't want people to listen to this show and think that we are not understanding that we've been in quarantine for a long time. Y'all who know me, y'all know I be on a plane every other week.
Right.
Going someplace, feeding the wanderlust that's deeply embedded inside of my soul.
Okay.
And this has been troublesome for me.
Yes.
Traveling to pull the garbage to the curb is not the same. It's just not the same. So I would like to get outside of my house and feel comfortable being outside. I would like to eventually get back on a plane and go someplace beautiful and different and learn some things and try some things and meet some new people. The fact that y'all are continuously giving up on the safety protocol is troublesome for us, and by us I mean myself, my good sis Letitia,
Yes.
and all of the other people who have been really, really diligent and careful, because we trying to get back to whatever our new norm is going to be. And this can't be
Right.
our new norm, sis.
No, it cannot be.
This is
It
the
cannot be.
interim. This is the interim step. Like, we got to get beyond
Ooh,
sickness, death, and 24-hour mask wearing when you're around other people.
absolutely. I need people to cooperate with this so that we can get out of the house. Some of the first places I want to go to when we do get out of the house is this new African American Music Museum. Did you hear about that? Did you see that, sis? I would like to go. I mean, they created this beautiful, wonderful thing, and we can't go. Why? Because the world is still shut down. Why? Because you keep being out here without mask faces, and it's just a mess. Nobody needs this. I want to go travel. I want to go somewhere where there's men that might buy me drinks. I want to go somewhere where somebody can kiki at me.
You know?
I want to go somewhere. But, you know, this African American Music Museum is really something else. It is the National Museum of African American Music. Their doors are finally open, even though the world ain't, but their doors are finally open. Children under 6 are free.
That's good.
You have to follow all of the protocols. Okay?
I wonder, are they going to be doing like roving? Like, you have to register for a time. And
Yes, that's what it says. Yep.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many tickets? You can only get so many. And the museum is actually in Nashville, Tennessee, which I find hilarious, which tends to be the capital for country music.
Correct.
And here we are with the National Museum of African American Music right in Nashville, Tennessee. I used to live in Memphis for a little while, so, it's always something popping in Tennessee, but that's where I would like to go.
I would like to go as well. I, too, used to live in Memphis, too, when I was a little girl.
Did you?
Yes, got family there, and I visited Nashville a lot because of choir competitions, because there's a lot of show choirs.
Lots of singing down in the South.
In Tennessee. So enough lot of singing, girl. Lot of singing. Be like, come on, group of kids. Come on, get on this stage. Is you on your mark? Get on your mark. So we can do this warm up.
I'm telling you, it's a lot on there. They have a hip hop corner.
Ooh.
You can check that out. You can virtually look right now, online. It's a lot. They have an education section,
Nice. I visited the African American Museum at the Smithsonian in DC.
Yeah.
And their music, Black music kind of section, I thought was a little light. So I'm actually really interested in going to this other museum because I know that there's so much to cover in the history of Black folk.
It is.
That it's hard to put it all in one building, right? And design in that experience, exactly. Mm-hmm. So for something that's specific to Black music, I'm really excited about seeing that.
I'm excited. I know you are fiending to get to a concert because you are the concert music going queen. This has got to hurt, sis. It's got to hurt. Sis. I mean, Versus is only going to do so much at the house.
Versus is just not even helping me, right? You know what? Because there is a stage performance. There is a intention typically at a concert.
Yes.
I don't know many artists, whether you are local or whether you are a big artist, that you don't take the time to prepare what the experience is going to be for your audience. And at the beginning of the pandemic, we had Erykah Badu doing her quarantine concert series. And those 3 concerts were amazing. She did one from her bed, and as a bed worker, I'm like, well, wait, hold up. Let me reframe that. As someone who sometimes conducts work from her bed,
Sis, that not sounding better
I
either.
know.
Um,
So she did her concert from her bed.
yeah, stick with E Badu in this
Yes.
scenario.
And it was amazing. She did one where she did these different rooms. They all had a
Mm-hmm.
theme with different instruments, a bossa nova room, what she called the experiment room. And then I can't remember what the other room was, but she would let the audience choose the songs, and then she would go into the different rooms and it would be in that style. And it was amazing. And then the third
Wow.
one was just weird Badu 100 because they were in bubbles. Like everybody was in a bubble in this big kind of
Right.
warehouse space that looked like the moon. And there was just a moon bass man just moving through, moving real slow.
Right.
It was amazing. That made me feel like she cared about me. Like she was like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure that these folks feel this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think how music comes across, especially live music or streamed formats, there just has to be some care. Otherwise, you're just not gonna get the people to tune in. And I miss being able to scream at the people that I love and to sing along the songs that I love and just being out in the environment with the energy with people, like-minded people, because
Right.
people who are paying their money to go see a Eric Roberson, to go see a Bilal,
Yes.
to go see a Dwele, to go see a Sade, to go see a Jill Scott or Erica Badu or a Method Man
Woo.
by himself. He ain't even got to come with the Wu-Tang.
Wow.
He can just be.
Wow. You just totally redid history. Just Method Man
I know, I'm
without
sorry.
Wu-Tang.
No, Wu-Tang come. They can come. I'm sorry,
Okay.
RZA. I'm sorry. Everybody,
And Red Man. And Red
everybody,
Man. Don't
everybody can
forget Red
come.
Man.
Everybody can come.
Where
Okay.
is Red Man? Is he all right?
Well, the last time I saw Redman on the interwebs was there's this company called Cameo
Mm.
where you can pay for a star to
Mm-hmm.
send a special message to somebody like the new age, singing telegram, if you will.
Okay.
But for stars. And somebody had ordered a Redman happy birthday for they man because apparently they do really love Redman. And the clip of him doing this cameo was the best thing I had seen on the internet that day because he just was talking all type of crap and cursing at him and smoking, and it was first of all longer than what it was supposed to be.
Oh, Lord.
It was hilarious. It was pretty hilarious, and the dude, he was like, "This made my day. I could not ask for a better birthday surprise." But he clowned so bad. It was so funny.
I just haven't seen him on anything lately.
Yes, haven't seen him. But you know who I have been spending a lot of time with?
Who?
Hip hop, old school hip hop.
Okay.
That Busta Rhymes album is pretty good. And he created all the visuals with it and all that. It's just been a really good hip hop experience for me.
I'm still mad at Busta Rhymes.
What did Busta have did?
I'm still confused about how that man got shot up in that doggone studio and everybody made it out but him. And from what I understand, didn't nobody go to the police? Everybody claiming, they don't know. They don't know what happened.
Well,
I just kind of got through with him after that. I just, he used to thrill me. Girl, put your hands where my eyes could see him. That is a headbanger that, honey, you talk about in 1990s getting ready to party. That was the call to the flow, honey.
Can you?
Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Hey.
I mean, that beat hard. It says something. I might have to dig that out somewhere. I like old Busta Rhymes.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I tell you, I miss a whole lot from back then. Everything is still trying to twerk.
Well,
Oh, the news should stop them. The news should stop them. The Bust It Challenge. All right, y'all done busted it right on to the Silhouette Challenge. And maybe now you might have a little bit of caution. Just maybe. Sis, have you heard about the Silhouette Challenge? Sis.
Sis, I didn't know what was happening. The folks videos was turning red, and I was like, initially I was like, is this a red alert? What's happening? What's going on?
Girl.
And then I was like, oh, silhouette like sexy, okay. And then I was like, oh,
right.
Do they know that people can take a screenshot of that and just lighten it up, and then voila, we can see what technology has come a long way. So
well, they know now.
And that's unfortunate, but we live in a world where you got to be really responsible for how you putting yourself out there, because everybody who has access to you doesn't have the greatest of intentions. I understand the need for self-expression.
Oh, yes.
I'm an artist. There's a couple of songs on all of my albums where you'll be like, oh.
I have. Been like, ooh, I'm gonna need company to listen to this.
So I get that, because I'm a grown woman, and certainly a part of my expression as a grown woman is my sexuality and the freedom of that. However, I understand that with all the business that I run, for us who are storytellers, not just here on this podcast, but out in the real world, and how I would feel if one of my clients, or if the grant funder of our Survivance program,
hello,
what up, y'all, at the Field Foundation, if they pulled up us doing the Busted Challenge, would that impact them being able to bust us a renewal? You know what I mean? Like,
first of all, it definitely would impact it, because they'd be wondering how to help me get a new knee. They'd be like, Survivors looks like it's going to be delayed. Apparently, Letitia's in the cast. I'm telling you, the Busted Challenge. You don't have to accept all these challenges. You know, we had the Junebug Walk Challenge. Then we had the Walk Challenge, which is separate than the Junebug Challenge.
Is separate than that one.
It's different. You know, I know these challenges, none of them are for me, but we just want to be good aunties out in the village. You know, we go by the shade room to see what's popping, so that we can come back here and shine some light on it. That Silhouette Challenge, people have discovered how to take the filter off. And since some of y'all were so brave because you behind this red light, y'all actually did y'all stuff naked. It's the potential now out there for you to be exposed.
Exactly.
Now, people told me that the fellas got in on it.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I said, where was that bookmark at? Where was that hashtag? Where was that?
I
didn't see. Where? No. And then I got scared to go look for it. Some hashtags you just.
I try to limit my searches when things start getting a little clandestine. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I'm already in trouble.
Yes, I do.
Because of the, what is it called? For whatever reason, the smart TVs, you can cast from if you're watching YouTube on your phone.
Yes.
You can cast it to your TV. So there are times when I'm on YouTube watching, like Funky Dineva,
right.
Fox Soul, any of my more adult, content, gossipy content or whatever, passing time. But I'm still scrolling. And YouTube is playing in the background. But one of my scroll fingertip movements actually hits the TV, and it starts to project on my child's TV. So there's been a couple of times where he's just like, hey, who's this person on my TV? We interrupted all his little gamer shows.
Life, right?
He's watching. He's just like, I don't know what's going on. So
That's hilarious.
so you got to be careful with that as well from those internet searches and what you're consuming. And what we found a solution that if we turn off the phone from the Wi-Fi, then it won't actually
do
connect. And so when I'm, late night up
Right.
scrolling and kikiing, laughing at these folks,
Girl.
I just turn the internet off. So
Has this been a lot to laugh about? People are just out here wilding. They just out here wilding. And we can't pretend like things are going to be the same because they're not.
mm-hmm.
Definitely the way we find people, connect with people,
Yeah.
fall in love, all of that good stuff. All of that's changed.
Mm-hmm.
We have the good folks of OWN Network specifically.
Yes.
Who have just done a wonderful job of getting into the foray of reality TV. I mean, if anybody was going to do it with some class and style, we knew it was Oprah. We knew it was Miss Oprah.
Absolutely.
We knew it was her. Oh, sis, where do we start with the show? Hashtag ready to love, or as I like to call it, hashtag ready to recast season 3. Ooh, Let's start with the broad overview. Sis, what were your thoughts about this particular season?
So for folks who are not aware of Ready to Love, Ready to Love is kind of the urban version of The Bachelor, just with a smaller budget because they're not traveling in a whole bunch of places. The first 2 seasons, I believe they were in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And then this third season, they decided that they were going to go to Houston. And they had the folks kind of sequestered, if you will,
right,
in a beautiful property for them to, see if they are ready to love and can connect with the eligible people who were there. Some of which we found out was not very eligible.
At all.
But that's something
we'll
to
get
discuss.
into it.
We'll get into that. My overall feelings about Ready to Love, let's start with the host. The host is Nephew Tommy, and he does an amazing job. Oh, I have not been frequent watcher or listener to the Steve Harvey morning show. So I know the characters and all the folks that are present on the show, but I've never really got into listening into the morning radio like that. So I was super surprised and really excited and really enjoyed his management in the host space and, his words of encouragement and, setting some laws and some orders and demanding some respect. Like the hosting management by Nephew Tommy was amazing. Loved that.
Yes.
Really
Agreed.
loved that. Really loved the house for season 3. Beautiful home.
Yes.
Beautiful, palatial, lots of green and pools and streams, walking spaces. So this had to be a super big house on a super big property because they were doing all of these different scenes and dating, and you didn't get to see all the other people. And so I liked that they did this kind of in this contained environment. But I agree with you, sis. I was not impressed with the casting this year.
No.
I didn't find many of the characters compelling. I didn't find myself rooting for many of the characters either. But I was like, y'all not gonna find love. Everybody need to go home. That's all I would say. Everybody need to go home.
Yes.
We could just do a 5-part special with Nephew Tommy talking about his marriage because, he cites his marriage a lot in his hosting. I'm like, can we meet your wife? Let's bring her on.
I think it's important. I'm glad you brought that up.
I just wasn't impressed. And I'm interested in your overall thoughts, and then let's dig into some specific content around the show.
Absolutely. I echo a lot of what you said. I do love the way Nephew Tommy navigates the show, handles the traffic. He handles issues. He is about accountability. There's a few times I think he lets a couple of things slide, But I see the Noop in him too. This makes me feel like we at a Friday night Kappa meeting or Panhandle meeting and it's all over. And so now we're going to shoot the breeze about that he has a playboy air about him, and I don't think that that's intentional. I hate to say that, love him dearly, but I think if it for branding, if you are trying to get other people ready to love and your marriage is so successful and it's so this and so that, as an example that you often refer to, I would like to see her. She ain't got to be on every show, but maybe, see him at home with her. Far as we know, he could think that the relationship is great and maybe she don't. I mean, I doubt that that's the case. I'm just saying. So he does a great job with the hosting and whatnot. And I just think for branding, and maybe it's the optics of it for me, I would love to see his wife. I would love to see her take a part in the show, maybe as a person that, well, maybe offers advice or does have a talk with the women or have a breakout session with the women. I would love to see that. The other thing that bothered me about this particular season was the fact that people just could not get it together in terms of how to really balance being in a situation where you're multi-dating. So you're in this situation where you're multi-dating people, and it gets hectic in real life. Of course, it's going to get hectic under one roof. We had some sneaking off to the rooms by a couple of cast members.
Well,
We had a ghosting from one room to another room and all of that. Girl, it was just a mess. So overall, I thought that there was some conversations that should have been had from the standpoint of casting, okay, that would have made a heck of a lot of sense. Let's go through the cast members. And we're on Oprah.com, Ready to Love.
yeah.
And maybe we should start with, we did Nephew Tommy. Let's go on to Adriana. Adriana, what did you think, sis?
So Adriana struck me as someone who wasn't ready to love, was ready to be chased.
She was ready to play.
And I think it's playing too, but I really think she wanted to be chased.
Oh yeah.
But chased by a specific person. And who was chasing her was not who she wanted to be chased by.
But she set that in motion. So
Let's
bring in the other cast members that we're talking about. Let's talk about Rashid. He's also a Kappa. I noted the brand Rashid. For me, he was one of the guys that had the most potential, really the most potential. And when Adriana saw Rashid, it was like, I could get one in the bag from the show. I could potentially, at that moment, she figured, I got one. I'm not going to leave this show without somebody. And she proceeded to act accordingly. She wanted to establish herself as that chick. Oh my God, she ain't even been here 2 seconds and this man is already falling all over it. Instead of, hey, we had met in a previous life and apparently you showed your tail then. Adriana, thoughts?
I am absolutely in agreement with you, and specifically speaking, so I understand that made for a good fodder. Spoiler alert for those who haven't watched.
Yes.
Rashid and Adriana had a interaction outside of the house previously before they had got there.
Yes.
And she had already ghosted him.
No, you had it right. Ghosted
him previously. But that brother just saw it for her. Like, even when they got into the house and, everybody was mingling, he mentioned, in his interview that she had ghosted him. But it was very clear that he was so into her, so attracted to her. Like, it was, I don't know if he saw himself when he watched this back, but it was very evident to me that she could do whatever she wanted and he was going to stand right there, which was super interesting considering how she was moving.
Yes.
And how he had a lot of conversation for another cast member who kind of had stereotyped him. And,
Yes.
he was certainly didn't lack any words when it came to redirecting her, but he
Yes.
just was kind of like sappy puppy dog, mushy gushy,
Ooey gooey.
ooey gooey with this Adriana. And she's a gorgeous girl, former cheerleader from what I remember.
Mm.
So
I didn't remember details about it. I don't know that girl. I have the Mariah Carey when it comes to her. I don't know. I don't know who that is. I don't know. Never heard of her. Nope.
oh sis, that just tickled me. So yes.
But in the end, she got played. She got played major. And I cannot tell you how loud I was in my room at the reunion when I was like, I told you so. And that is also what you get. We're talking about bringing the other cast member, Calfani. Who couldn't see that this big old blockhead was a player? Calfani, you have to say more to me than, ooh, oh, and then you repeat back what the person say. I like fettuccine and shit. Oh, you like fettuccine and shrimp? I like fettuccine and shrimp. Okay, and that's the depth of the conversation. And I have a daughter. That's it. I said, he must have just been hella conversational and interesting on the outtakes when the camera wasn't rolling, because I just didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. And she was ooey gooey with Calfani. She being Adriana.
Ooey-gooey.
She just loved him. And if this was not on O, where there could have been, how they used to do on The Real World, where, the camera goes into the room or whatever, and you don't see no faces, but you see the blankets moving. And I'm not saying it didn't happen, but we just didn't view it on camera. But she was very into him and creating, not claim per se, but certainly ensuring that she was positioned in such a way that if Calfani had chose her back, she would have been happy. But if not, she would have went with Rashid because he still would have took her anyway. At least that's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was just true, but it was just coming off that if Calfani had chose anybody else, which of course, Lord, don't get me started on.
No, we can't jump the gun and get there. We got to save her for last. We got to.
Yes.
But on to Alexandria or Alex. I liked Alex. I did. I liked Alex. When I tell you Alex served us nothing but boobage, though. Cleavage and boobage and out popping at the reunion. I was like, girl, now be who you are. And I wish that, maybe I still don't know who she is. I didn't see her have any connection with anybody. And the guy that she chose, can I just tell you how much I rolled my eyes when this man came on the TV? I fast forwarded through his lion tail. And yes, I'm talking about Brian. Brian the liar.
Just,
sir.
Every other breath, a new lie.
A new lie. And not good lies either.
Very, very college lies.
Baby, this was high school lies.
Just, if we could just pop back to Alex for a minute.
Please, yes.
As a part of the Top Shelf Committee, sometimes you don't realize that your shelf then came unshelved until it's too late. And I've seen myself back in some pictures and I'm like, why, Lord? Why? Why was the shelf floating about freely? So maybe sis just did. She looked in the mirror and saw one thing, and then how it showed up on camera was another thing. So I want to give her a little grace.
A little grace on that. Okay.
It's part of the Top Shelf, and realizing that you then came unshelved from time to time.
Hilarious.
But the fact, you are absolutely right. I feel like I have no relationship with her. I don't know who she is, other than the fact that she had an abusive relationship, which I guess was her narrative. You know, everyone has a role to
Yeah.
play in the story, but she seemed real closed and careful. And I think once she had got burned early in the episodes
Mm-hmm.
with Brian kind of dipping and dodging, I think
Ugh.
she kind of she was over it at that point. And I get it, sis. You know,
Girl, I was over him. He's
yes,
just, ooh, he's not ready to love.
no.
First of all, you're immature.
Oh my
You
goodness.
still like to play.
Yes,
I don't believe for one second you're an educational counselor of nothing. I believe that perhaps you might be a paraprofessional in the classroom to help keep kids together for discipline and
correct.
maybe clean up the lunchroom. But I don't think that you are a professional licensed individual that is qualified to give advice to anybody on
Sure did.
anything.
Sure didn't come.
Didn't exude that at
Sure
all.
didn't come across. I mean, we
Mm-mm.
we employ educational consultants in
Mm-hmm.
our work. Would we hire him to do anything educationally related?
Girl, never.
So I was confused, and there's a space underneath the name that has to say something. And
Mm,
an educational consultant seemed broad enough
mm.
to infer that he had a job. It could have just been Brian. He got a job. It wouldn't have mattered to because we still wouldn't have liked him
At all.
because his personality was just it wasn't
It was whack.
sincere and it
No.
wasn't honest and
And no, it was wrong. Next up on the deck, Miss Alicia.
oh boy.
Dear Alicia, I believe you came to the show with child in thine belly, ma'am.
In thine belly.
Ma'am, which is also a note to counseling. Perhaps you need to ask this as part of your intake questions. Are you now pregnant? Do you intend on getting pregnant during the show? Is that a potential? I mean, could you take a pregnancy test? Ma'am,
I
your
thought
math is off. The
I,
math is off, ma'am.
I thought that would have been something that they required is that if you are ready to love, like isn't there some ready to love criteria?
Right.
I don't know.
But again, they did it with Alicia. She already has children, and we found out at the reunion is pregnant again. But Raymond, the musician. First of all, loose lips sink touring bus ships. Okay,
Yes.
did he not tell it on Tank and Genuine? Leave them good brothers' business alone and talk about you and these 5 kids and they
Why?
mamas that you ain't committed to.
But you can tell that he uses that to connect with women.
Yes.
That was just all part of his game, and that's what has used. But it's 2021. In 2020 or maybe 2019 when they did the show, I'm not exactly sure, but we ain't so phased by that stuff because
Uh-uh.
we've seen Genuine on a reality show too as well, and them baby
Yep.
hairs is just not enough. It is
It's
not
not.
enough.
It's not. And for the record, he and Genuine don't look anything alike. That's all I'm gonna say.
No.
They just don't look alike at all. Which brings me to the next person here, Anthony. Anthony. What do you really do? Do you hang out at the gym and they let you do stuff or what? Is this really your job, sir? Something about him don't seem like it's all the way right. And he did get defensive, we found out, because he had the connection with Winter. We knew he didn't have no connection with Denise. Now, Denise, we'll get to her later. But Anthony, sir, what do you really do? I just never felt the confidence in what he did. And when he went off on Winter about money, and all of that stuff, there is nothing worse, sis, sometimes than a man that is insecure about making less than you do. Not the fact that he makes what he makes and he's doing okay for himself, but the fact that he makes less than you do. It can be a real head trip for some men, even if it's never a conversation or an issue for you. It just can be for them.
Absolutely. And he was certainly one similar to Brian. It felt like they could be in the same fraternity and that they were showing up at the college party for a weekend, visiting one of the other boys, Cal Fani.
Right, because they don't
Because
go to school.
they don't go to school. They just go and visit the brother up there. And that they having a good time and trying to figure out who they can, who they can impress, and that the college girls are like, these dudes is lying. Like none of this is what they saying
Right.
makes sense. But for the sake of the show, you can't just kick the liars off. They just not gonna be ready to love. And certainly with the way that the show was designed, everybody's not gonna walk away with a connection. But even the ones that had connections, I just didn't feel very good about them. None of these connections left me light and fluffy and fluttery. They all
Not
left
at all.
me seriously concerned, wanting to see some IEPs and some counseling therapy notes and some check stubs.
We need to run a verification of employment. No, we need to run a verification of employment.
Because I just, I think since we are at the age in the auntie sphere,
Stop
that and this is not because we're old. This is just because we're older, because we've lived. Our lived experience,
thank you,
provides great context for lies told before. We've heard these lies when we were 17, 19, and 24.
Right.
So at the, over 35 space, you can't throw that 17-year-old lie on me as an over 40-year-old woman, and I'm going to kiki and smile and all the rest of that. It's just not as impressive.
It's not as impressive, but yet here we are.
Here we are.
We've arrived at Danielle, which will be quick because honestly, I don't remember her. She got voted off like an hour after they got there. Talk about a wasted trip. Jeez.
It was pretty quick. I didn't remember Danielle either. I'm like,
who is that? Right?
What color dress did she have?
Did she have on? Right?
That's the only way that I remember.
Same thing with the next guy, David. Although at the reunion, he did circle on back around and ask Alex out. I actually like him and Alex together. They'll do. That's fine.
And that's only because we just didn't know enough about them. So if we're together and we follow them on social media, we might actually know a little bit more.
Right. So he was okay. Edwin. I need Edwin to report to this decade with his dressing, with his style.
Yes.
I need Edwin to find his big boy voice.
That is correct.
Because I think we saw baby Edwin. That man, when the other cast members, Simone did question him like he was had filed a missing persons report and was in court trying to get down to it. The way she got at the information was wrong. But clearly, Edwin, honey, you've got a lot you need to sort out, baby.
Yeah.
Before you ready to love. It's okay. You need to do your work.
And it's fine.
You need to do your work.
Because companionship is a part of humanship.
That's good.
And so regardless of whatever else he got going on the inside of his body, he still desired to connect with another person. And this experience helping him to realize he still had a little bit more work to do, because we've all had some life challenges, and we've all have had, in the midst of those challenges, has had people come to us like, yes, we want to love you, we want to talk to you, we want to talk to you. And you're like, baby, this not gonna be good for you.
Nope.
You gotta be adult enough to say,
no, this ain't good.
I promise you, this is not gonna be good for you. I need to work on me. Not as an excuse, because I know a lot of people be like, it's me, it's not you. Not the same.
Right.
Working on you because you have identified something within you that's going to prevent you from managing fulfilling relationships going
Yes.
forward is a beautiful and such a strong thing to be able to do.
Yes.
You don't
Absolutely.
need to drag nobody in your muck with you when you know you ain't ready.
Not at all. Not at all. Because let me tell you something. People don't want to deal with all your other stuff. Now, that is a part of loving somebody and being ready to love. But if it's just got to be a dependent relationship, I mean, you really can do bad all by yourself. You really can.
All by yourself.
You really can. Just a couple more and we'll wrap this on up quick. I think Shay was her own worst enemy. She was too much too fast, and the way she did old Christopher was wrong. I think Christopher was nice, but he got a money problem. You don't make a lot of money in radio. You don't, which is where he knew Joy from. Joy and Jay, we thought that they were the it couple. I really didn't. I never saw it. I never saw it. I said about both of them, Jay is a playboy that's hiding. When he snuck off the Winter's room and without his shirt on and all of that stuff, and he had been in Joy's face. And then at the reunion, when we saw all these cuts out with all these private conversations and who he's into and all that, I said, this boy, he ain't ready to love. And then I also said about Joy, what was she saying too? Like Calfani in between the outtakes and when the camera wasn't rolling. She's beautiful. She has gorgeous hair. I've heard it's all hers. People have researched that to the end. I mean, it's like a Google search. But sis.
I don't know what was happening there. I didn't see it for them either. Jay reminded me of a playboy. Easy. He just reminded me of the quiet type playboy who got
with
like
a short complex.
They got like 50 girls.
Yep.
But because he's so quiet, you'll never really know. So he,
Mm-hmm.
he would be what my daddy would be calling old soft shoe.
Little soft shoe.
Little soft shoe. Yeah. Jay was a little soft shoe to me. And I was like, oh, no, Jay, you out here being...
I hear you, brother, loud and clear.
You got on silk shirts and you just, speaking so, in that monotone, like, I listen to you, I hear you, I understand you. Please. I think the attraction to Joy has the problem that a lot of strong, confident women have.
Which is?
That a lot of men see her as mother figure, auntie figure. Like they go to her for like spiritual counseling and seeking counsel. Edwin, right? And or you get the J, which is kind of the playboy soft shoe who wanna break. That's got to be the name of the episode.
I'm not gonna be right behind that. Thank you, Poppy Love. With your next time I'm gonna tell you, with your soft shoe self.
Just soft shoe self. Which his goal was to break it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
I'm gonna try to sleep with as many women as possible, being perceived as the nice, soft-spoken, introspective, kind. He was just even the way he moved, like when they were having that moment and he kissed her, I was like, girl, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. But when he kissed Winter on the cheek, I said, oh, he came to play. He came to play. And Winter was like, what are we, 12?
Oh my goodness, that was funny.
That was hilarious. And I guess, she would be confused because you popped by the room after dark with your shirt off. Yeah. I certainly wouldn't have thought you'd have kissed me on the cheek if had you showed up without your shirt on.
But that's called getting played in front of the camera, right? That's and no shade. All of us have had a being played moment.
I've never had one, ever.
Well, I've been played, sis.
Girl, yes, I have, child, please.
And thank goodness it wasn't no cameras around.
Amen, girl, amen.
Because the face crackage was real. I was like...
Girl, Dine goes home.
Oh, Dine goes home and puts head in Dine pillow with nervous poots. Because now...
Girl, a bad breakup will make your stomach bad. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Make you have the bubble guts.
Wait,
Something horrible.
like the affairs of the heart and the stomach there.
Woo! Oh, oh my God. You want to know how a woman know you cheating on her? She can't get off the toilet for days. Can't get off the toilet for thinking about you. That's how you know.
That's how you know.
Woo!
Yes,
Mm.
sis. So
No.
I didn't think Joy and the brother, the good brother saw she was gonna
No.
make it. I
Mm-mm.
also if you want to move to Winter.
Yes, let's move to Winter. Girl, Winter thought she was really summer. I liked her though. She was cute and sweet.
I liked Winter a lot. I think she just got caught up in a lot of politics. And Winter is the type of woman that is like the middle child, you know?
Yes.
So if the older sister is, superiorly beautiful, everybody's just digging on her, but
Right.
she not the brightest shoe in the box, but she beautiful, and beauty can get you a couple different places and take you
Yes,
far.
it can.
You
Yes,
know,
it can.
you're not, the younger sister that's rambunctious and free flowing and, just got the brothers putting them in their place, and brothers is like, put me in my place, girl.
Right?
But then you kind of middle of the road where you doing what you're doing, you cute, whatever, and it's just there was just so much energy with the other women,
Yes.
and
she's not a girl's girl.
and she's not
She's not a girl's girl.
Come talk about that, sis, about how not being a girl's girl leaves you out cold on a dating show. Because
It really
if you watch
does.
any of the dating shows, even, Flavor of Love and all of that, you got to have some camaraderie in the building because, you're trying to figure things out, so when you're not like
Right.
dating and figuring it out, you're connecting with your kinfolk
Right.
sistering.
I don't think that there was any interest there for her to connect with anybody. She came for the men's, okay? She came for the men's. She was on a mission. She did not come to the show for new best friends at all.
Yes.
And on one hand, I get it. On the other hand, that could have been also the issue, with you, how men like to see how you react with other women too, especially when they think that it's about them. Cal Fani. Can we just step back there for a second? The brother gonna talk about when he got home, he had a note on the door from an ex, somebody that he had a previous relationship. Let's just tell the truth. If there was a note on the door, go on back with that old thing. Go on back. If there was a note on that door, I think you probably had an arrangement in place.
Absolutely.
He seemed like let me take a break for a minute and see what's over here and see. And if that ain't what he want, then he comes back and brings you off break. And I think that's what happened. But it happened to Adriana. So, I was like,
Well, since I don't think he was on a break, I think he has been in a full relationship
the whole time
and came on the show for some exposure.
You think so, sis?
Because
somebody else said that on Twitter.
Because he didn't share much. He didn't give us much.
At all.
I think he was going on to be seen and for someone to say, hey, he could be the next Mr. Clean, or I don't know, like whatever, the next Old Spice man. Like he
half man and half horse
in one of the older commercials.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, I was thinking like he was coming because he was looking for someone to discover him and be like, oh, he has a nice body,
no.
He has a nice smile. Can he get some opportunities from it? I'm not sure because he didn't give us much, and he was a repeat. I'm so happy that you pointed out he was a repeater of conversation.
Yes.
There was never any addition to his conversation. Is only repeating and saying, yeah.
Yeah.
So you enjoy traveling? Yeah. I like traveling. Oh, so you enjoy traveling? Yeah. Not where have you been? And I think that because he really wasn't interested in knowing.
No.
Which I don't know. Did we, before we circle, because we said we're going to leave her for last.
We
that
are,
he.
but we got to stop by the other hot mess first. Miss Naya. Miss
Oh,
Naya. Ooh, Miss Naya. First of all, you liked Edwin as a secondary prize. He was your consolation because I think you thought, I could use him. I could get anything I want out of him. But the way you did Christopher was wrong. And like he said, that was a low blow. You don't make enough money. You don't have this. You don't have that. And I said he didn't make enough money. I did. Naya acted like I didn't see that coming from her. I thought she was this cute, little sweet, quiet, little Southern belle.
she was my
Naya is a
favorite.
mess. Was she your
She was
favorite?
she was my favorite before she
Cut up.
turned the corner. And I posted on Facebook. I understand a good cut up. I had a little cut up moment the other week. It was necessary. I had to just let some things out.
I understand.
So I liked her because she seemed like she was straight up and down. But when she went down that line of questioning about how much she made and all the rest of that, and I was like, oh,
Girl.
this is probably not good. And again, she emasculated the DJ
Yes.
so quickly. I was like, you
Yeah.
you don't have a chance right now, Christopher. You don't have a chance, brother.
Mm-mm.
It's over because he
It's
stuck his foot
over.
in his mouth. But then he went back to apologize because he was trying to connect with her and felt like he had
Right.
messed up. And I said to myself, brother, don't apologize. Every and for the audience, spoiler alert, they had
Right.
a conversation about income and what a man is supposed to handle and what a woman is supposed to handle.
Yes.
That is really subjective and based on the two people that's in love. Only the two people in love get to determine
Right.
who pays for what and all of that. And it's based on maybe you don't make as much money as her, but you get paid often, get paid
More
more
often.
often
Yep.
than she gets paid because maybe she's contractor and she gets her money on a monthly basis or
Right.
whatever the case may be.
She does hair, so it's a cash-based business.
And so they just had this very awkward conversation where he was just speaking his truth about,
Right.
we should do this, we can do this, and she just didn't agree with him. Then he came back
Mm-mm.
trying to reconcile that with her but she had already ridiculed him with all the other women and
Yes.
spoiled the bunch and was like, oh yeah, he said this and he said that, and what she was saying wasn't what he said.
Right.
We would sit down, we would talk about it, and if y'all are making the same amount of money per se,
Right.
y'all both gonna have to get on that rent or that mortgage. Like, I don't see anything
Period.
wrong with that. Like the way that she kind of went all
Mm-hmm.
extra bougie la on us, I was so shocked because I
I
thought
was.
she was like a good one. She was like, I got a man waiting for me. I was like,
She tore it up, left out of
oh,
there, and went crazy. Okay.
too much.
She did way too much.
We have a couple of quick mentions. That
Mm-hmm.
they were on the show. Samuel,
Don't remember him. I don't know that man. Sorry to that man.
yeah, he was kind of had awkward black boy energy, which
Oh, I do remember him.
yeah, he had
Baby.
awkward black boy energy.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know who was going, be his sidekick in this dating to help him. But
No
he
one was
he
available.
he seemed a little off the casting in reference to the ones that
Correct.
was there. And then the last young lady that we want to bring up, Simone.
Oh, Simone. Oh, Simone. Simone is in her own way.
Yes.
Simone is in her own way because every conversation is not a legal defense. It is not a legal prosecution. It's not a legal cross-examination. It's not that, but that's what she does. She's got to get out of her own way. Now, I wouldn't have minded her and Rashid getting it together. I liked her and Rashid.
Rashid didn't like her because he could only see Adriana, number one.
Right.
The other part about Simone is Simone showed her hand early on. Simone and Winter kind of cut from the same cloth.
They
Not
are.
not trying to be girly girls with the girls that were there.
Mm-mm.
They were there, but Simone came off aggressive. And
Yes.
then with the lawyering of all
Yes.
conversations,
All the time.
like that, sometimes you just need to say what you got to say and it not be a question. Like it just, you can conversate, and I know it's not a word, but it is one. You can have conversations with people with actually not asking them a whole lot of questions. So I felt bad for her in the sense that people wasn't really feeling her
Not at
and felt
all.
that she was really aggressive. And then once the guys started talking, it was just like, oh no,
No.
she trying to put all our business out here on these old streets.
Right.
We
You
we
know.
we signed up for the show, but we only gonna tell these three things about us.
Okay.
And
And they trying
so
to act like, she acted like she had these people like a PI, like we've been looking for you.
yes, it was very strange and a bit uncomfortable.
It was very strange.
And speaking of uncomfortable, let's just go on and round
Oh,
this
just go
conversation
ahead.
out.
Denise. Oh, Denise, Denise, Denise. First of all, if Issa Rae ever wanted to cast an auntie with an attitude, that's who she needs to get. That is who she needs to get. First of all, Denise is beautiful.
Yes.
That's a beautiful woman.
Gorgeous.
That is a beautiful, tall, attractive woman.
Yes.
But baby, your affects is off. I don't even know where to start with Denise. She was on Calfani so tough. It hurt my feelings for her. Because Calfani wasn't never going to respond the way she wanted him to. Never, ever, ever.
It wasn't even in his gene pool to do
No.
so. And I feel like in a lot of ways he connected with her and stuck with her to the very end because it was going to ensure he made it to the very end.
Ooh,
and it
good
was
point.
less about her making it to the very end. It was more about him making it to the very end.
Yes.
So if the most controversial character and the most wanted character both are into you, you gonna make it to the finals. And if
You gonna make it.
if this is a pay per episode arrangement, then he was trying to make it to the end.
Well, he did.
And then decided that he didn't want nobody. Newsflash.
Note on the dough.
There was a note on my door from my ex.
Please.
She said she wanted me back and we gonna just try one more game.
Please.
Denise is also another one that is getting in her own way.
Yes.
And I understand that she has a story and she carries that story on her sleeve.
Yes,
this is not about soft women versus hard women versus this is not a criticism of how she presents herself.
Yep.
This is certainly an observation about how difficult it seemed that it was going to be for someone to be ready to love her.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that she was dark skinned, because that hair was laid, that body was laid, them outfits was together.
Ooh, she stayed slayed with the outfits.
Okay? Slayed, but I just felt like there was such uncertainty, and then there was this. She would be kind of strict and mean and here. Then when she got readdressed because they like, they gonna be if you keep acting like that, then she'd be like, oh, hey, ho, the muffin man. Hey. And I'll be like, that's so, it lacked, I felt like it was not genuine because just 2 minutes before he was snapping off, and then 2 minutes after that, you snapping off again. And that roller coaster ride just was exhausting.
It
Watching it
was.
was exhausting. And I thought she was going to get eliminated early. So the
I
fact that
did
she
too.
made it to the end was strange, considering that no one wanted to touch her. And then, of course, and not that she was untouchable, but that they didn't want to engage with her.
What?
And then all of a sudden we got old boy now talking about, ooh, we connected. Was that Anthony?
Anthony,
Boy, if you don't sit on down somewhere.
please. And he was scared of Denise too.
And that is not a good position to be in when you're trying to be selected for a dating.
Ah!
If the men are scared of you, now there's some men, I can't remember the movie I was watching where the woman was, kind of intimidating, and it was some dude that was like, I like that, like slap me, yes, like there are some men that may be into that, but this group of men certainly were not. So, well, that's Ready to Love, our recap.
We got one more thing to say. We cannot ignore the fact that that woman made up the message of Joy. We had a tragedy this season. Joy's sister passed away suddenly on the cast. I mean, well, she wasn't even on the show, actually. Joy's sister passed, and it was sudden and a mess. But during, when Joy got ready to leave, honey, Denise delivered this rousing. She said she wants y'all to stay in the fight. She said she wants y'all, to keep on. And Joy at the reunion came up out her tears and was like, I never said that. When did I have time to craft a message? Denise
had got inhabited by the spirit and delivered a message that somebody did not tell her to deliver. Of all the people, of all the other eloquent women that could have delivered this message. And this is not to say that Denise isn't eloquent, but we've already referenced that certainly she kind of had this up and down personality.
Oh, most definitely.
So of all the people to deliver a message after a tragedy, Denise was the one that was selected. And y'all, when I tell you that the sister, it was cringeworthy. It was cringe-worthy television, because the way she was articulating this woman's emotions and directions was strange.
You're being polite. Yes, it was strange. It was downright, huh? And at first I had to rewind it. I said, I must feel sleepy or something. I know this woman did not make up this. And Joy was like, I did not say that. When did I have time to craft a message?
It was very strange. And the reunion was a mess.
It was perfect mess.
We wouldn't be talking about the show if we didn't enjoy it, y'all. So please walk away with the message that if you are into messy dating situations and seeing it all unfold on television, we encourage you certainly to tune in to Ready to Love on OWN and let us know.
Yes.
Let us know if you agree or if you disagree or if you saw something that we may have missed.
Right. Let us know.
Let us know. We want to talk to you, and we appreciate you listening.
Aww.
Yay. Well, sis, let's go ahead and roll up out of here.
I know it. We had to take it light tonight. These are some things that we have been wanting to talk to y'all about. It's a new season of a whole bunch of show. 90 Day Fiancé still hanging in there. I watches that. There's a lot going on. Grownish is back. Blackish is still on. It's a lot.
It is a lot, absolutely.
Coming to America coming out for Pisces season.
Super excited about that.
Can't wait.
Oh my goodness. Well, this has been yet another edition. We thank you for listening. If you want to send us comments or suggestions, reach out to us at
please
all of our social medias. We are Pisces Podcast on the Twitter.
Yes.
We are the Pisces Life on Instagram. reach out for us. We're the Pisces Life on Facebook too. Hit us on our Facebook page. We respond.
Yes, we do.
Sis, if they're looking for you and they need a Ready to Love mini recap reminder, where can they find you?
They can find me at IamJust Letitia. I am ready to love. Not ready to be on no show, but ready to love though. Now,
Yes.
maybe the DMs will open up a little bit, but you got friend request me first. And sisters, they are looking for you. Where can they find you at, darling?
They could find me trying to ensure that this adult dating show doesn't get screencast to my baby TV.
Because he's not ready to love.
Because he is 11. He is not ready to love. Y'all can find me on the Twitter at Kai Loves You, KAILOVSU. I'm on Instagram. Just attitude to that. Kai Loves You too. We are out of here, y'all. Be safe.
Peace. Rest in heaven, Mother Cicely Tyson.
Yes.
Rest in heaven, love.
The queen. The queen.
Two fish living in a dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces life. 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 The Pisces life.